Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Technical Difficulties.
Wait, are you actually live?
We're getting people in here. It's fine. Welcome to the cold open.
Are you actually live?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
You say they're fine with the technical difficulties being part of the stream, so this is their...
Oh, yeah.
This is the coldest open. Yeah.
That is... Oh, it disappeared again.
Scott has voluntarily muted himself.
So,
Yes, he pressed the wrong button.
explain to everyone why we're having these things here going on.
Yes, so we are switching services for the Wednesday night stream. At least we're now using Discord as illustrated in our top banner there. We were using Zoom. We're now using Discord, a platform for nerds by nerds. And seeing as how we're all nerds here, we figured it's where we belong.
I refuse to hear you talk like that to us about us.
So we have done some troubleshooting most of today, getting everyone in and set up, and we are still in that process. But as you can see on our stream here, we have Roland, Dean, Scott, Tommy, and myself, as well as Tommy's inking. I believe that's being done on another comic by Mr. Dean here.
Indeed.
Well, I've got 2
Silverblade.
pages that I'm working on, but yes.
Awesome,
There we go.
dude.
Right now we're getting Mr. Brent Larson in. There's a furious Facebook messaging going on right now in our group chat.
Yeah. I saw him earlier, but I've lost it. It's because he was on the welcome. Now I can't find the welcome. It's like, where the hell did the welcome go? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm already in it. No, that's not it. That's general.
Well, I'm officially going to share us across my stuff.
Absolutely.
Kind of late, but I'm doing it. So who's the big red box now on the screen?
We have the artist login, and that is essentially, if that's where it was also sharing a video, that's where to show up. But since it's just showing the screen, that's shown up as just the Discord logo with the actual art being streamed in the Silverline Artist live stream box. Yes.
So
Because CC, welcome in. Welcome to a very informal cold open as we get everyone logged in.
Mr. Kasusi!
Wednesday Wham's new home.
I'm
Scott
gonna-
Wayfield's
I'm
apartment.
Get out and then.
Yeah, Scott's got a new home now. He
Yeah.
got kicked out.
Yeah, I'm,
No
Things have been
banjo
rough
in the
lately.
background.
things have been rough.
Things have been really rough lately. Sorry, buddy.
I am presently in central Pennsylvania with my my cousin's house on the way southward to visit my brother. My mother wanted to muscle through on her own the 14-hour drive or whatever.
Ooh, boy.
So no. So we we rearranged some schedules, and my wife and kids and I loaded her in our van, and we made a stop in PA, and then tomorrow we'll head south. So I'm in.
So you
I'm
put
in
her on top
Pennsylvania.
of the van? Is she like you loaded her on
Yeah,
the
we
top?
just
of the
loaded
wagon?
her-
Is that what you did?
Ratchet straps.
That'll work.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. With her
Well-
rocking chair, right?
Well, she can get some sun while she's up there. Get a
Yeah.
little suntan. Work on her summer suntan.
Yes. I feel like we need to fill the air here. Do I want to say hello? Or are we ready for a
I don't know.
official hello?
I feel like whatever way works.
What are we supposed to talk about
What's
today?
that?
Oh, we're supposed to talk about digital something in our whole
We
system
are
doesn't work
supposed-
right. So that's pretty good, pretty accurate.
NFTs.
Yes. Oh, Scott is
What did you just
muted
say?
again. Either that
about now?
or no, okay, now you're coming through. That's interesting.
That's weird. So if I click another tab, I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna click a tab. Do I stop making noise? Did I stop there for a second?
No, we can still hear you.
We can still hear you.
Does your cousin just have bad internet?
Yeah, because you're freezing up a lot. Like
Oh.
we hear your audio, but maybe you're set at such a high resolution that we're getting stills.
Or the audio
more
will
than
desync
others.
sometimes too. So I wonder if you yell at your cousin for what kind of house he's living in. He doesn't have gigabyte internet at the minimum.
It is rural central Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
so who knows? Is there a way
look at that.
for me to, because like I look fantastic.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, you do look good. There is good quality coming through. It's just it
You
was
look good, but it's more of a freeze frame thing going on. Like
yeah. Occasionally, it'll turn into a poorly translated film where you're talking and then the flaps come later.
Yeah, I think through. I don't. All new to me, so I don't know if there's a way I can.
Okay.
But yeah, we.
So we're still trying to get Brent in?
Starting to Brent.
Is that what's
John has just shared his username. Ryan, we are getting people logged into Discord. We have switched our home. Silverline will no longer be part of the corpocracy that is Zoom. We're now strictly in the independent realm of Discord, which is
and it's accurate. We're very
so we're getting people logged in here. Godzilla vs. Khan, your thoughts? I have yet to watch Godzilla vs. Khan, but I'm stoked to watch it.
I watched it.
Was it good?
Yeah. I think if you turn off your logic filter and your, any sort of potential realism filter that you might apply to a giant kaiju / giant monster from,
What are you
past
saying?
movie. It's fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. They further develop the idea of Monarch and the secret organization that monitors the growth of the Titans, and they quickly make the excuse of why is Kong so freaking big now when he, he used to be able to climb a building, now he dwarfs a building just like Godzilla does. How does that even happen? They sort of gloss past, go, oh, they're growing at exponential rates now. Oh, okay. So they do a lot of that sort of sidestepping of logic to sort of make it fun. And if you just roll with it, don't think too much about it. There's some sci-fi vehicles that you're going to go, what is this, Tron? I mean, but other than that, it's fun. It's a whole lot of fun. And I got to say, whether you're pulling for Kong or Godzilla, both sides are going to be pleased.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, look, now there's 2 red boxes.
Ghost Rider has just joined us. I believe that is Brent. So at some point, Brent will click on the camera icon in the stream and get his video set up.
It is.
Perfect. So you may just need to click on the channel name again to make it full screen, and then
There he
They are.
is.
Oh.
Welcome, Brent.
Hey, all right.
Brent.
I don't know if it's really him or not.
Again, so
Never figured this out.
I'm gonna go.
Well, it took us so long to log in.
Hey, got Brent on.
So,
Good night.
see favorite.
Yeah.
Over.
All
Nice
so,
talking to you guys. I gotta
Tommy,
go.
are you streaming on the, Tim, you got Tommy streaming on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to bail you guys and leave you to talk about the NFT. I'm going to go eat supper.
Okay. I believe John has
Enjoy.
also joined the Discord. He sent us his thing, so I don't know if he's got permissions yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to leave here. I'm going to take care of John. Then I'm going to go eat.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You don't need to eat, Roland.
He may need to be invited to the server
I'm
again. I don't
hungry.
know if John knows how Discord works.
I don't know either. I'll jump off here and see if I can help him,
Or,
like I was trying to help Brent. All right. Bye, y'all. Have fun.
Later, Roland.
Bye, Roland.
Just look.
So, as I like to say to all of our Silverline family out there, you get to see how we make the sausage here, right? We'll figure this out, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are, I believe, as ready as we can be while people are still joining. So, Scott,
Okay.
shall we get started?
All right. Good evening, everyone. I do apologize if I'm bleepy and bloopy here. I don't know how to adjust my resolution and all that sort of stuff, but you are with us and we are happy. It is Wednesday night, and this is Wednesday Wham, and we're getting the bugs worked out from our new home. We are fumigating our new home here on Discord of its bugs, and we'll figure it out. And maybe next week or a month or so, we'll have all this nice and smooth and seamless. But we've got a good crew tonight, and I'll just our topic. I will say, I'd like to just say, I'm going to say NFTs and let everybody just, what's that? No, I won't leave it at that. We are NFTs. If you didn't know, duh, we're going to be talking.
So you're looking it up? Is that what you're doing?
Am I stalling here?
Trying to figure out how to pronounce the second word.
Fungible.
Fungus.
No.
There's a fungus among us.
Yeah.
Fungible.
Fungible? Yeah, there you go. It might as well be.
Tokens. Now, I am an expert at this, so I will be just talking ad nauseum about my deep wells of knowledge about non-fungible tokens and how they will bring about the end of the world. So stay tuned, and we'll get to that.
Scott already owns 3 of the $2 million NBA JPEGs.
Yes.
See, Tim just said that, and I don't know what he means. This is a thing. So we're gonna get into this, and I think maybe we'll have a better understanding of what it means, but we're gonna try to stay on track and stay to the topic of how it applies to the creative world, the art world, and what we do. And we'll probably get off track a little, but that's a rare occurrence for the Wednesday show. So we won't. We'll assume we'll stay right on the NFT topic. We are also always willing to talk about other stuff that you want to throw out. So please ask some questions, give us some comments, and we will try to respond to those as they come up. Join in the fun.
The fungible.
The fun. We put the fun in fungible. Why didn't I think about that earlier? To tonight's show, before I forget, is brought to you by the Daytona Beach Comic Convention that is happening this September in Florida, beautiful Florida. So we ask you, please head over to their Facebook page or their website, check out their event. Their event is the 18th and 19th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have my notes here. I'm not at home. And make sure they have an event on their Facebook page. Go ahead and say you're going and be there. Support them, get all the updates, and you will get a chance to meet a good swath of the Silverline crew, because a good chunk of the folks are from Florida, so they will be making appearances. If you are one of the dedicated Silverliners that got a signature book, don't forget to take your signature book and get some signatures from our creators. We've got a great team. We have a spectrum of writers and artists and all those people that make amazing comic books. An update on our Kickstarter that ended a few weeks ago. Those are going to be heading out very, very soon. So I think all the surveys are in. Roland did not tell me that he's still waiting on anybody. So everything is moving along very nicely, and you should have those very, very soon. So always.
We actually spoke about it today. He's still getting the files together.
Okay.
I think the order is in, but he hasn't. He's getting the files put in.
Excellent. So those will be running off the presses soon. And if you aren't aware how Kickstarter works, they wait a little while to release the funds to the
fungibles,
the actual fungibles to the creators. So Roland has to wait till all the money comes in, of course, to then be able to take care of the printing and the shipping and all that. So they are on their way very soon. And I feel like I had another announcement, but
something about Steam Patriots.
Mark your calendars out there, everybody. May 13th, we will be running our next Kickstarter campaign for 2 titles. The award-winning series, you're going to get the number 2, the second issue of Divinity, award-winning created by R.A. Jones and Barb Kalberg, and that will be coming. So that story will continue, and you will then also be able to get the premiere issue of my title, Steam Patriots, and that is coming May 13th. So mark your calendars. We might have some extras and goodies. We will always have extras and goodies. Perhaps even a variant cover by the venerable Dean Zachary, and some inking by the illustrious Tommy Flormonti, and we'll have all the goodies. So we can't wait. I can't wait. I'm super excited.
A little bit of a cool thing that we didn't, Dean and I have decided. I'm going to go ahead. Last time I was digitally inking it. I've decided to ink it on paper, so you'll be able to use that as a Kickstarter reward, so somebody can get it.
It will not be available as an NFT.
Unless you steal it. Yeah, unless you take it. Our Dean wants it back.
No, it's out there. It's out there.
Yes, it's so. Yeah, you'll be able to get an original piece of art with the variant cover, and we're still working on all the extras. We'll have the usuals, the fun extras that go along with the book. So Divinity is a great story. If you don't have number 1, head over to silverlinecomics.com and click across the top. You can order. It'll direct you to Indie Planet, and you can grab Divinity number 1. And we've got lots and lots of titles that are over there as well. And if you weren't aware, the reason we do 2 titles at a time is because we have so many stories being created. Silverline's story world is just growing by leaps and bounds, and we can't do them one at a time. So it's very exciting, and all of your favorite stories that have started, number 1s and 2s are out there. We've even got a number 3 on the way from Brent Kalis, number 3, and 4 is just about done as well. So those stories will continue. Very exciting. So yeah, go over and grab some copies and grab some for your friends, and we would be very appreciative of that. We also, with our show, like to introduce ourselves, and I've jumped right past that. So I'll start. We say hello and quickly tell you all what we do for Silverline and otherwise. And my name is Scott, and I'm the co-creator and co-writer of Steam Patriots that's coming in May, Kickstarter, with my buddy Rory. Rory is in the middle of a move, and so he's a slacker somewhere.
Sure, he's still in Hawaii, right?
Who knows where Rory is? Yeah,
he's moving. He's moving like this as he's swimming and surfing and stuff. That's what he's doing. This.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Drinking his Mai Tai. That's what he's doing.
I also try my hardest to do publicity work for Silverline. So if you have a podcast or a show, or you do reviews or something out there that you'd like to talk about or talk with us about our creations, we would love to hop on your show or be interviewed or whatnot. And likewise, spread the word about you, because we want to share the love with all the indie creators out there. So reach out to us if you are interested in talking about Silverline and talking about what you have going on as well. And geographically, I like to throw this out. I'm from Western New York, but presently I'm in Central PA on my way south. That's me. So I'll go down the line. I'll go Tim, Dean, Brent, and then Tommy's at the bottom. And John, I know, is trying to join us. So so he'll be here soon. So go ahead, Tim.
Yes, I am Tim TK, Associate Editor at Silverline, and also writer, creator of Wolf Hunter. I'm also the running editor of our craft blog series, or I believe we just had a post come up from AJ Cassetta, who is doing art on Wolf Hunter. And
not just knocking it out of the park.
Knocking it's insane. Him and John Martin have both been incredible.
Yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, it's awesome stuff.
Can't wait to see Nick's colors on it. And maybe a potential alternate cover for an issue number 2 from Dean. We'll have to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm also the producer of our Wednesday night show, and as such, I use my executive authority to create a fungible counter, given the fact that puns have already been made in rapid succession. So we now have something to track the amount of fungible puns that happen throughout the night. So everyone, I expect gold.
Wow.
If we have some fun just while we're doing this, it'd be all right.
Always a fun time here on the Wednesday show. Dean?
Hey, how do I follow that up? I don't really know, so I'll just get right to it. Dean Zachary, I am the writer, creator, and artist on Silverblade, an upcoming title for Silverline a little bit later this year. And I also hang out here on Wednesday Wham and discuss things like, non-fungible or fundable, if you prefer, tokens. So
that's the truth.
we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's about it.
Tim, where are you in this continent?
Oh, I am up in the Pacific Northwest in the green state of Oregon.
And you there, Dean? Just a little south of that, right?
Just a little south of that. I'm in northeastern Arkansas, the natural state, if you will.
It's not. I thought it was Arkansas. Okay. Brent?
The state's artificial.
He's going to take his cover away if you keep making fun of him like that.
I know. He's going to draw a mustache on him.
Exactly.
That's right.
Brent, I will preempt. You're down there in Florida. I'll say it for you. Right?
Yeah. Fungibility is the property of a good or a commodity. Why are we talking about that?
Yeah, no.
It will become.
You just now looked it up? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, and now that I've read it 5 times, I realize I know less. So, I'm Brent Larson, the writer and creator of Kalis, who is frozen on my screen in a cool look, big smile. And also the writer of the upcoming Cape Town. So,
what is Cape Town about? You've not told us. Give us a quickie of what Cape Town is
South
about.
Africa.
Summary.
Cape Town is going to be it's a superhero story about a couple of new superheroes that arrive on the scene in a city where superheroes were very popular. But it was more like just really expensive, elaborate cosplay. But then they all disappeared. And these 2 new heroes, as they're making their way as superheroes, are starting to realize there was a conspiracy that led to the removal of all these heroes. And they have to find out what happened. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. That might be the first time I ever explained it. I think that took too long. So I'll sum it up better next time.
So whittle it down.
He's
Bring it
got
back
some
by Monday.
dudes and capes, and they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in this town,
Yeah.
Actually, it's really just about South African politics.
Nice.
The entire thing is a metaphor for
Yeah.
apartheid.
Yeah. It'll sell itself. I'm sure, so. But by the way, I'm in Orlando with Tommy, who am I the only one who, Tommy, whenever you speak, your voice doubles? Am I the only one who's noticing that?
Oh, you might need to mute the thing that's showing up as Silverline Artist. So if you can move your mouse over that and just hit the speaker and button to block it out. Scott muted himself.
No, Scott, we
All
need
right.
to hear from you.
That's the wrong one. You muted the wrong person, Scott.
I did exactly what he said.
Well, my mouse over these
Actually-
things says Silverline Artist, not your. Yeah.
Okay, now I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Tommy sounds better now. So
Yes.
You
Yeah. No,
sounded like
you didn't see
man
all the
from
craziness at the beginning. Yeah, we've got to try to get my iPad to show we're hacking the system, is what we're doing. Shh, don't tell anybody.
actually, I'm still hearing it. What is
Oh.
that?
Yeah.
I'll quit talking.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get to the topic of the evening, the topic of the day. And honestly, I have had, I'm going to show my ignorance all night. It will be just laid bare for you. I have had two people explain cryptocurrency, and I know this is a little different. They explained cryptocurrency to me twice. So in essence, I've heard it 4 times at least. And every time I'm more and more confused. And it just doesn't make sense to me. And I wish I was smarter. It makes me feel really dumb.
My way of crypto for dummies, my way of explaining blockchain.
Yes.
So, you know how like Visa makes like 2 cents every time your debit card is run, but you never see that, and the store barely sees that? Transactions like that happen on the internet also, and a lot of data gets passed back and forth. So like how value gets created in data being passed in real transactions, value gets created in electronic transactions. And people found a way that by doing math real hard, you can make it faster. And so that creates value somewhere, and we got coins. So as long as there's data on the internet, crypto has value.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Okay.
because really, when I
Yeah.
think about money too, like I think about, we just all accept that this piece of paper that has a 1 on it is worth 1/10 of this piece of paper that has a 10 on it.
Yes.
They're-
Wait. The last time
right?
that Bob Ross cried was when Nixon went went to the fiat system.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a deep cut joke from that's from the
A
Bob
real
Ross composition comparison competition. So
Okay, hang on, Tim. May I throw something out that you can help us clarify? this?
Sure.
Okay. So from a layman's point of view, when we look at cryptocurrency, is it fair to say that the cryptocurrency world is a virtual world at this point, and it has value? The currency has value based on the mutual agreement of the people participating in the virtual world. Is that correct? Or does it actually have
it has
real value like a stock?
It has value based on a process, because there's actually so when people talk about crypto mining, that is actually a service and process which is being fulfilled. So you can buy stock in blockchain companies creating that service, and then you can buy stock, and then you can buy the crypto they are producing themselves. It's like how you could buy stock in a gold mine, and then also buy stock in gold, or buy gold.
And a crypto mine.
Right. So you can buy stock in a blockchain company, which is a crypto mine. And what they do is they do a process called blockchain. And in essence, it's a series of number crunching and calculations which help facilitate transactions of data on the internet. So as long as things are connected and data packets need to go from point A to point B, they help with that process. And somewhere in there, they found that they each time those things get run, they create a little bit of data, and that data is called a crypto coin. And so there's a process that actually goes into the creation of these bits, and so it in some way trickles down that by you buying crypto, you're actually helping with data going from point A to point B.
So this is a code nerd club.
It's a code nerd
Right.
club. This is hard nerd
Okay,
territory.
Okay.
Very much.
Well,
Okay. Okay.
like I have a follow-up question, and hopefully I'm not going to show my ignorance too much.
It's
But
all
I
right.
thought-
We're exposing ourselves.
Okay. I thought crypto was Superman's dog.
It is.
Can you mute
So-
him? He needs to be
It
muted.
is.
I mean, so why are we talking about this?
Why do we have a Dogecoin and not like a crypto?
I know.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
And because of all that, we now have found that by putting code together, you can have, like how you have an IP address that says this is your computer and this is its location, it connects to the internet here.
Mm-hmm.
They found that they can put a similarly unique string of numbers and attach it to a digital item. So say this is this one JPEG or this one image here, and so if you were to copy that, it would create a separate number.
That's the token part.
And so now what they found is by having the unique number on an original of something, that creates the NFT or the non-fungible token. It's something that is unique to this one bit of
Code.
something in the matrix. Yes. So it's kind of like the. I mean, I think it's a cool idea, but I think the way it's being handled by some companies is kind of dumb, which we'll get into. But it's the way of having like an artist signed original, where an artist can register something with one of those blockchain companies. It's like, this is the original, so we're going to put the token on this one. It says this is the only one that came first, and everything else is a copy of it. And so they can sell that unique piece of data to whoever they want, and that NFT shows up like an artist's signature.
So is it fair to say, Tim, that the initiation of these NFTs was basically necessitated by the need for digital-only artists to be able to make money off original pieces the way analog artists make money off original pieces? Is that why this whole thing was invented? Not cryptocurrency and all that, but
right.
the tagging of NFTs. They're almost like certificates of authenticity.
Exactly. And I think that's the more like altruistic, like optimistic viewpoint of things.
Mm-hmm.
But even just seeing like the first week when things happened, and then some discourse like, oh cool, I can actually like market my own originals and not just have, people copy paste off of my DeviantArt page. But then DeviantArt, which hosts a lot of artist portfolios, says, hey, we're registering all these for you as NFTs, and that means we're retaining rights.
Yeah, nice. Is it also partly a way to prevent internet pirates? The print pirates that you see at conventions, where they've just basically got a bunch of artists' art off the internet and they printed it out and they're selling it for $1 a pop or $5 a pop. Is this a way to curb that, or no?
I think
you're still that means the original digital. That's the BS part about the whole thing. So you've got one version of it, even it's the one that's marked as the original, but you don't actually, the person that buys it doesn't actually get anything. They get a string of numbers. They get a number saying that this is the particular item that they purchased, and that item, that one item is the one that's marked as the original one. But like if say this page I'm working on now, like this is all digital, right?
Yeah.
So this file is on my my iPad, right? So if we were to decide to make an NFT of it, then whoever bought it, they don't get really anything.
It's gonna look it won't really show up as cons as much as it's strictly a collector's item, and I'm guessing that's why it has the insane valuation it does now.
Yeah,
so like how an art collector would go to an auction for like Banksy or whatever, they'll pay the auction house some odd millions of dollars, and then the painting goes to a museum that they have a connection with. Like, I own this. I just don't want to keep it in my house because that'd be dangerous.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
right.
what will happen is you'll end up paying this auction house some odd millions of dollars. They hand you a flash drive.
Right, and you know,
And if you lose that flash drive, you lose everything.
Yeah, it's like with
like your Bitcoin password, right?
You've got a Bitcoin wallet, right? Where
Yeah.
your Bitcoin, the number of whatever Bitcoins that you have is in your wallet, right? So you don't actually have anything but just some sort of a piece of math in a fake wallet someplace that tells you how many Bitcoins you have. It's going to be the same way with this. You don't actually get anything but the token that belongs to this particular first version of this file. Now, I was reading today or watching today. It doesn't even have to be one. Like for this one, we can make 100 of these and sell 100 that are the original.
Yeah.
They're numbered 1 to 100, but there's still just 100 of them. But we still have the file. It's not like as soon as we sell it to somebody, I have to hit the delete button and delete the file.
It's just that the reference token that is registered with that blockchain company essentially now gets transferred to that new thing.
Then they've got all kind of really neat stuff where they can like if that person whoever bought it, he's the owner now, he wants to sell it, he can sell it, but because it's registered to, say, Dean, this is your art, I'm inking it, right? But it's your art. So you're the one that you registered the fungible whatever token. This is all just so stupid. Okay, so you can you can get royalties based off of whatever you want from now on because you registered it to start off with, and every time that original token is sold, you get money back into your wallet,
digital wallet,
basically.
Right.
Your digital wallet. Yeah.
So there's a secondary market now where, in this particular case, one might argue that the crypto virtual world is superior in this way, in that it's a royalty almost, because every time that string of math gets sold up the blockchain, you get money based on whatever contract you set up.
Yeah, you get to pick whatever royalty when you pay to get the fungible token made or whatever. You get to pick what the percentage is right then and on the spot. And I think it's I was watching some videos today. I think it's as cheap as like $10 to get one done. So like if you drew a little smiley face, you could send it up there and get one made.
Yeah.
And then put it up there for sale however much you want. And it's crazy.
Yeah, Benny I mentioned in chat. He said he thinks we're kind of missing it. It's a virtual collectible, and we are kind of talking about that. But it's a collectible that doesn't necessarily mean that you actually get the collector's item. Because even if the way agreements work right now is you buy the token, that doesn't necessarily mean they even release the item to your hard drive or even like send you. You
get like a little image of it's in your wallet of the image of what this file that I'm working on. You don't actually even get the file.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did see some stuff where you can get
you can get some agreement. There are some better agreements. I think that's kind of where the future of it'll lie, where it'll actually be like, the artist takes their laptop into whatever blockchain house.
Yeah,
they do the transaction there, they move it into the NFT, and then they take it to auction, and then it gets moved over to the buyer. So you can actually have multiple eyes on the unique token being moved. But as it stands right now, it's real weird. And that you can collect absolutely nothing, but still spend millions of dollars for it. What I do think is going to be kind of cool to see if it gets worked out with it is kind of like what Kevin Smith is doing with his next movie.
I didn't get into that today.
Where he was going to sell his movie. The initial digital recording of it is going to be available as an NFT. So, like how some people collect the original film reel, you're like, I got the original thing that was on Kevin Smith's hard drive. It's real weird, but in terms of collector's item,
on his hard drive.
Yeah.
Explain though the advantage. So just for the people listening who might not understand any of this, like maybe 95% of them, Okay, so let's say you pay the money and you get the NFT of Kevin Smith's new movie. How is that different and or better or less than just buying a DVD or Blu-ray?
You know,
of his new movie?
maybe he may try to do something with it. He may put a little personal something on it. It may be just slightly different, but as far as the movie goes,
Yeah.
it's probably the same movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the idea is he's doing it just as the raw, so you're going to be getting essentially the same as if you got the real. So you're going to be like little weird clippings in there that would have been edited out in the finalized version of it.
Right, but
Yeah.
is there an inherent advantage to having a code version of something versus having, say, the Blu-ray of the unedited, like
strictly to say that you have it?
Yeah,
literally,
It's all about
that's it.
collecting,
It's
right?
literally
Yeah.
bragging rights
And-
collectible. That's all it is.
I don't even think that you even get, like, we're doing this one. This is a 11 by 17 at 300 dots per inch. I don't, if you made this the NFT or whatever, they're not actually getting this file. They're just getting the token of the file that they own it.
Yeah,
kind of.
So
they're
getting a digital code signature of a file.
Some cases, and then actually there's some stuff that you can get physical goods to. I was watching this crazy video about these 300 socks. Did you see that?
I'm not.
Yeah,
But
this one sock company made 300 different socks, and then they did this NFT on all the socks, and they're selling for $1,000 a piece. These socks.
What?
Now you can eventually, if you want to, you can go get the sock. You can send away for it, and they'll send you this pair of socks. But the socks are just sitting in some warehouse somewhere, and the people are just trading these socks, and they don't even get the socks. I don't know what it is. This is crazy.
It does.
I think I'm
it
starting
does
to get
seem
it.
weird.
This
I don't
is
know.
really interesting. So essentially, it's in a collectible market. That is more or less how it works anyway.
Right.
Which is
True.
It's inherent value. It's not about how much
that's
it's
exactly
actually
what
worth.
it is. It's what this works for people that, I'm going to use the wrong word, buy. I don't mean buy as there's spending money. They're buying into this digital goods as, that's what they like to get. There's lots of folks not like the five of us, they want physical copies of things, but there's some people that just want digital copies of stuff. Now they can get a digital copy that's supposed to be the first digital copy. So like when we do print Kalis number 3, however many we end up printing, you can get an NFT for each one of those, and each one of them's got a certain number, or if the digital versions of the and those are all specific ones that in somebody's mind, that's a collectible thing. I've got a lot of digital comics and stuff, but I don't think of them as I just screwed up my picture. I'll try to bring it back up. I don't think of them as it's you use that collectible word as two different things, right? I like collecting all these digital things, but I don't find them collectible as like a comic book is collectible because it's a physical.
Yeah,
that's other people think of the digital stuff as collectible stuff.
That's the thing. And
Benny, I guess.
Yeah, and Benny kind of mentioned what I was originally kind of getting at with the Kevin Smith thing is, you can attach any variation of that original image to the NFT. Which you're still going to have it on the originator's hard drive. They're not actually going to force you to delete it when you give it to the blockchain house. But you can create a PDF with a unique cover set to whatever quantity, release it to the NFT, and the NFT then has their own distribution. Oh, my camera just died. Of that.
Lost you.
Yeah, of that cover. So say we did Kalis variant cover gold or whatever, and we found a blockchain house and we're like, all right, we're going to do 10 copies of this, and it's only available as an NFT. And then once that's out, they can no longer distribute that per the agreement. And so we do end up creating this some sort of what's happening here? Scarcity to it, which normally scarcity drives value. And so if you want to get the equivalent of the a single Wu-Tang album that was sold, if you want to create a digitally
That's what I
scarce
was
album,
fixing to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right after supposedly they were supposed to delete all the master files or whatever. So
because you have to have that
whoever
NFT token essentially to have access to it. You could try to resell it, but that means you also lose your ability to hold on to it unless you're Master Hacker Man, which we found that some people are Master Hacker Mans and have broken. They have funged to the token.
Well, okay, Tim, you keep mentioning this physical place that you have to physically bring your file, and then they work their little magic on it, and suddenly it's a collectible. Is that how it works?
So it has to go to, you have to register it on the blockchain. And like we mentioned earlier, the blockchain is the set of data crunchers that make the internet faster. But they're the ones that do the data crunching that goes into transactions of data on the internet. And in doing so, they create the artifacts. An artifact is a unique bit of code that isn't necessarily supposed to be there. But we found out, hey, these artifacts are kind of scarce because they require this process to happen in the first place. So
and those sites are just regular looking. They're not crazy websites. A form pops up, there's a button that says browse, you click the browse button, you go on your hard drive, you find the image that you want to upload. Just like you guys have done this probably in dozens of places, just uploading files to play. You just upload the thing and it says going to process your thing, it'll take blah 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 amount of time, and then, oh man, the crazy part about having to pay for it, you have to what's the money that you can't just put your debit card in there. You have to get a Bitcoin to pay for this stuff.
Oh, you have to create a transaction token for your currency. The same thing, but it's a little less weird than actually buying crypto. It's the same sort of transaction token you'd use for using like a Samsung wallet or Apple wallet at a store.
Yeah, I think I saw that you could use your Apple wallet to pay for it.
So,
it's not really that expensive if you wanted to make you some.
Yeah.
And I ought to be, because you guys know that I like to ink digitally more than I do on paper now. This seems like something that would be right up my alley, but it's like,
because I think
it seems kind of odd. Yeah.
Like, how many kids now come straight out of high school and like, I could go to art school or I could watch some odd hours of art tutorials on YouTube, get myself a moderately expensive tablet and just start drawing stuff and get good at it. And then they're like, okay, I can now just upload stuff to DeviantArt and charge commissions. And it's great, but they're not making necessarily the money you would if you're taking stuff to auction. What's happening to my webcam? And so this might be the lead into providing them something for that. I may need to unplug and plug my webcam back in.
Oh no, we're gonna lose you.
Wait.
The classic reset.
Yes. Yeah, let me go mess with that real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
I am soaking it all in because it's still kind of a concept that I don't quite get, and I think I'm getting it feels like that perceived value thing, right? When the collector, like you said, Brent, and you talked about it, Dean. I feel like though Tim is saying it's a little more complex than that, but as I said at the very opening, it makes me feel really dumb trying to comprehend this.
Well, I mean,
here's where it might be helpful. And Tim, please clarify this.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to understand the way on a secondary market that it might help, artists and creators or anyone's creating digital content, that if you create a contract with your NFT that says, hey, every time this gets sold up the chain, I get 5% or 10% of the value, right? That's where your money comes in. So in essence, it's almost like a stock, because you buy in by putting an NFT version of your content, and then you say, okay, every time this sucker gets resold, I get 5% of that transaction. Am I right?
Right. I'm going to have to disable that other webcam that's trying to take over. But
okay.
Essentially, so
you're right. But you sell the things, and there's several places that I believe now. This is just the research that I was doing today. Places that will do the selling for you. So it's all just kind of an automatic thing. It's not like you're at a convention and you've got, you know, a thumb drive sitting in your pocket and like you go, you want to buy an NFT? You got one. It's not you. You end up going to the website and then you find it in the list of all of them, and then you just buy it, kind of thing. And then the transaction's automatically done based off of how you set it up to start off with.
What guarantees it being tracked? You're saying like, okay, if I buy it, if I buy Tommy's digital art, and then if he's got it set up where he gets that commission, and if I just turn around and email it to a friend, he gets nothing, of course, but that friend doesn't get the NFT tracked official. Yes, so I have to.
I don't know. Like, could you just give it to somebody if you wanted? Oh, beats me.
Because I believe the idea is it's going to be kind of stored remotely for most places if you're on the up and up, where essentially if you do right click save or screenshot it, it's going to generate it's going to end up generating its own bit of code because it's going to show up as a copy.
Right.
So, like we're saying, for the like what Dean is saying, and even if you want to make this even more topical, with what happened to Ed Brubaker making more off of his appearance on Winter Soldier than his actual royalties for creating Winter Soldier henceforth. Especially as a comic creator, where you can make something that is kind of a collector's edition because things fall to print or what have you, they're going to gain value after it's the initial print run, and you make your money on the initial print run. And then after that point, if things passed around used in shops, you don't get a dime.
Yeah.
But if you say like, okay, I'm doing an NFT 5 of these variant covers where I'm going all out, like straight up cutting my fingers on my Wacom tablet here.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and you're like, all right, just shut off. I'm going to delete this off my hard drive. So now the blockchain has all 5 of the originals, and so when you have to log in, have that unique code to have access to it, and so you can resell that to get that value because people are going to want to buy this item since there's only 5 of them. Even if they are digital, they're not the originals. If you do manage to find a copy elsewhere, so in order to actually own it, you need to have that login to the blockchain with that unique token identifier. But then as an artist, when that gets passed around for people wanting to collect it, you're then also making money back on it because you know it's gaining value because it's a scarce item, but it's still your blood, sweat, and tears that went into it.
Sure. And what you do is you trust that the code nerds who are managing the blockchain are then working on your behalf.
Right, and I do feel like it's going to have to, they're, like with how auction houses now, they're probably going to have to get to a point where there is some serious vetting for becoming play, because you are handling, again, it is going to be collectible or, you know, artifacted art in some way.
Well, again, and we're dealing with a virtual world, virtual value, virtual items. So those of us who, you know, are used to the analog world where everything's real and it's there, there's a skepticism about that world. And so in order to win over the skeptic market, they're going to have to do a lot of, I don't know, earning the trust of, you know, like blockchain code nerds. It's like, I don't know you, man. How do I know you're going to, you know, hook me up with what the contract said you were going to hook me up with?
That's the thing. That I'm optimistic, but I'm skeptic of the companies that'll be handling this at the start. Like, we've already seen companies that, and now you don't even need to be the original rights holder to register something as an NFT. It's like if you have something saved on your hard drive, it's like, I copied this on Google.
Like, that's crazy. Like, somebody could get a hold of your artwork and pretend they were you and be like, I drew this. Yeah, sure I did.
So I think after some, maybe a little, just the right amount of market regulation and figuring things out and figuring out how companies need to proceed, it might be a good way for, you know, artists in the digital age to make money they would have back in the heyday of art auctions, and even as if digital conventions become more of a thing, and there is an NFT store on that convention where you can find an artist's like tokened original, that could possibly be seen in the future, where we're suddenly able to buy digital originals from an artist in Japan, where normally that may not have been as easily accessible an option.
Right. Right. So the
Okay,
advantages are cool, but again, the I guess the bugs, so to speak, need to be worked out.
I want to see how it looks, and again, I am optimistic, but maybe it's just the security background. But I'm like, that's the thing, is the weakest point of every hard point or infrastructure is the individuals working it.
Yes.
So seeing how that shapes out after better training, a little bit of regulation, figuring things out. What exactly do you need to do if you're in this position?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how that shakes out in 5 to 10 years.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. So if I wrote a script, say. Well,
and Benny had also mentioned someone has already used Batman as an NFT, and they were not one of the original creators.
There you have.
So, yeah,
yeah,
that's a whole thing you can look up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
I know what you're saying.
Yes, Brent.
Well, so if I write a script, and I just say, okay, this is the text file. I want to get an NFT for 5 copies of it. It will essentially serve the same purpose. In fact, it may be identical, because you can't display an NFT in your man cave. Really, it's just about telling your friends that you have one.
Right.
So if I get a lot of fans for Kalis 3, or I do something like I go and assassinate the president and become really famous that way,
yes,
then people could go and buy the NFTs and say, I have an NFT of an original script that Brent Larson wrote right before he
killed the
went
president.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. So the sort of what is it? The fame comes from your celebrity status more than
the quality,
more than the content of the.
That's gonna be kind of thing, because if people are very much into the original scripts they bought. I got the original manuscript that Hemingway did or whatever, and there are ways you can authenticate that now. But I could also find that PDF somewhere printed off, and now I have that in my display. But that's gonna be the same thing. These trained. There are ways you can authenticate that now, but I'm getting some echo off Scott, I think. But the same way you're going to have that sort of trained individual looking at the originals to make sure they're originals and authenticate them. That's what the blockchain is going to serve now, to show no, you didn't just print this off. This is something that we've had on record since the original artist sent it to us.
Wow.
Yeah, and
right,
Brent,
the appeal though, like Brent was saying, he would have to do something, so dramatic. You'd have to climb up the Empire State Building, free climb it,
or grow to the size of the Empire State Building.
10 times more value, because it's not really about the item, because the item is just a bunch of code. So it's not the item, it's the fame and celebrity and the hype around the item. So we're dealing with the ultimate social networking value system here, which is it's all based on perceived celebrity. Am I right, or am I overstating that?
Right. I mean, there are probably going to be some ways you can figure out ways to make content more into it. Like if you did do the unique one-off Wu-Tang Gold album style thing, where you have to have this token to see this one thing that exists, which will be really weird to have a truly digitally scarce item, because that kind of seems like an oxymoron. But if you free climb the Empire State Building, you get to the top, you take out your phone, you take an image, and you email it to the NFT, to your blockchain. Throw the phone on the ground. That's gone. But now the photo exists once with the NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
And Brent, you were saying it's in your man cave, your trophy room, and you want to tell people you've still got to have friends that understand. We spent an hour explaining this. You're gonna be like, wait, whoa! I got this NFT in first edition, and they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
So you have to have the NFT, and you have to have friends that know what the heck you're talking about.
So fast forward.
In order to really, I would have to print out the code or print out a letter of authenticity saying this code is now yours, and then I would buy a little frame, right? and then
Yeah.
I would hang that in my man cave.
Well, imagine
and
it'd be like,
people
yeah. I'll be
So in essence, you're negating the value of cryptocurrency by turning it into analog. So
Well,
you're going back.
exactly.
Hey, that's not
Legitimizing
the whole point
a
of this
fake
stupid
Wait a
thing.
minute. You're legitimizing a fake world once again by turning it analog. So we're still like not believing in the world. We're going back.
Don't print it out. Don't print it out. Make a copy of your screen.
Yeah,
Put your screen
Yes.
down.
That's it.
Copy it.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how I mean, just our human nature. I mean, I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm just saying our
Hold
human
it.
nature
Yeah,
wants something real. You know, we want to touch
Yeah.
it, feel it. It's very odd.
Yeah. Well, Benny was saying, well, the unique part is the code, not the item that's on our hard drive. And that's what we're talking about. The unique part is the fact that you have to have that token. That's the whole unique thing to it. But
That is the only unique thing.
yeah,
about it.
but when you're actually
that number that's generated at the end of when it's doing
there
its,
is no actual item, and that's kind of why we're kind of joking about it, because you're spending a lot of money for a bit of code. Which, I mean, to be fair, like Scott said, if either one of us had like a Superman action comic #1, and we got it for like $10,000, and we bought someone who was not into comics at all, I'm like, I spent $10,000 for these 22 pages of newsprint. You're like, that seems like a poor way to spend money.
Yeah, you're crazy.
You see this number? This number is worth $10,000.
Yeah. So again,
that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
Like, here's another example. I pledged $25 to the Veronica Mars Kickstarter they did way back in the day. Like, no one in the Veronica Mars cast knows my name. And I got a little T-shirt out of it. But really, what I got was the ability to tell everybody that I gave to the Kickstarter for Veronica Mars.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was really it. It was, and people who were going to say, well, so did I, but they didn't. They would know they were lying. I wouldn't know, but they would know, and they would somehow realize they weren't part of the club because I had thrown down my money and they had not. So it really is all about what you consider to be valuable and what you're willing to invest to be able to tell other people and show other people that you actually do care about something. So it's pretty crazy.
Value and money are
Earlier,
both fake.
It's valuable for somebody that buys
Yeah.
into it. And I don't mean spending money. It's like they got to buy into that digitalness.
Yeah.
What do you think, John?
But you're not even spending real money, Tommy. That's the funny part.
No. You gotta somehow or another. You gotta spend some kind of money.
Yeah, because
no, it's all fake. It's not fake.
non-fungible.
It's non-fundable.
I mean, some of the stuff is sold for about like $2 million USD or more, which is insane.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, though, you have to track that back, and you have to have some sort of way to say, okay, I have this valuable thing, right? Well, what did you buy it with? Well, I bought it with cryptocurrency. Well,
I think the fungible part means that the item that you're buying is digital. I don't think they mean that's
that is fungible. Is that
what you're using to buy it?
Yeah.
The product that you're buying is non.
You're getting the token. By nature of being token, it cannot be funged.
Okay.
But also, if you were to get an alternate cover style thing, you also get the added benefit of you can't spill coffee on it.
There's that,
or it can't burn down in a fire.
Yeah.
That's
so.
right.
Like if you're like say if you're a fan of Twilight, you can buy the.
And who isn't?
But if you're a bigger fan of Twilight, you can get a really expensive limited edition T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're even bigger, you can get a tattoo of what's his name, Edward, on your back. Like I've known some people who probably really regret that. Now.
Show us, Brent.
But if you're an even bigger
that we all don't have.
Right. It's almost like, but you're starting to hit the ceiling of fandom. But now with NFTs, you aren't, because you can say, oh, yeah, well, I've got an NFT. And I dropped insane amounts of money for it. Because it never was about holding something in your hand. It was about proving to somebody how much you actually cared about something.
I have a bit of code, which is unique.
Wow. I have some code, dude. I have some code that you don't have. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See,
But they were going to do that anyway. Like, I have a tattoo of that dude from Twilight, and you don't. Well, you're an idiot. I mean, that's what you might be thinking.
At least
But
if you
the
have a
other person
tattoo,
thinking is I just trumped you. So
if you have the tattoo, though, they could skin you and take it off.
But you're right.
Frame
It's that perception. Like, honestly, if someone were to tell me that they had the very first digital copy of something and it's worth this many non-fungibles or whatever, I'd have a hard time understanding it. But you're right. Like, if I had an original phaser used by William Shatner, most people would say woohoo, but my Star Trek buddies would say that's worth a zillion billion space bucks. And I want it, and then I would have to murder all my friends because they'd know I'd have it, and I can't trust anybody, and it would be a horrible spiral of uncontrolled intrigue and deception.
I mean, that's like the thing.
You do own that, and you're not home right now, right?
I guess that's the thing. Is like, and I think to understand like any sort of weird collector's thing, you have to kind of contextualize it for yourself. So for some like Scott, where if the Roddenberry estate essentially did a scan of one of Gene's like manuscripts, and they're like, and they like did a unique NFT to it. Like no one who doesn't have this NFT can see the scan. Like, all right, there's the thing for it. Yeah. Or if someone did like a copy of the original Battlestar Galactica script for John. But like for me, what made me think about it is the fact that, I mean, obviously being a Twitch person myself, I'm already used to digital stuff happening a lot. People pay me in digital currency at least several times a month. And then somehow that ends up in my actual bank account. It's all wizards. But
therein lies
magic
the
money, magic money.
How does that happen?
But if like, so I'm already kind of used to the idea of just seeing like random things happening on screen, and somehow equates to money just because everything equates to money in some way. It might be a flaw of greed, but if someone were to do like, you know, a copy of like one of Brewbreaker's original scripts for Necrosha or something, and they're like, all right, this is a scan of it. You have to buy the NFT to even see the scan or to say that you have the code to it. I'm like, I might consider it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This confused. So I heard. So this was years ago. I heard a story about Merv Griffin wrote the talk show, the game show host from forever ago. Did you know that he wrote the do 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 do? He wrote the Jeopardy tune.
Interesting.
Took him like 30 seconds to write it. And I think it has a name, and I think its name is Think, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so he gets a call from one of his people. So he gets a check for $144,000, and it says ringtone royalties. So he calls up one of his people, and he says, "What the hell's a ringtone?" He's an old guy. He gets a check for over $100,000, and like, what's a ringtone? And I just, so like that's the level we're at right now. We're like,
well, that's the thing. Is like whenever something new comes up and people and like we have gut reactions because that's what we do. But I always like to think back to the fact that when the novel came out, a ton of lords wrote out in strict opposition to the concept of the novel.
Of a novel, yeah.
Because it would ruin the value of a legitimate education. And too many of the youth would spend too much time reading and not out in the fields.
Well, I mean, that was the scare of e-books. And they haven't killed paper, which is, I mean, great because I'm a fuddy-duddy, but I like having a book to hold in my hand. But we now understand them. We know what they are. We know what they can do and what their possibility is.
You gotta get 5. You know, let's say it said we'll give it 5 years. See what regulation happens. CNBC will do a video explaining the basics of it, and you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, and then soon after, China will buy all of us and change everything.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it has to be. Speaking of which, I have to go, gentlemen. I've overstayed my welcome.
Brent,
I apologize. So
you
apologize.
Like fish and guests. You're too long. Okay, Brent.
Yes, that's right. I'm starting to smell rather.
Thank you.
Right.
The biggest thing in this, Brent, is do you know how to get out of Discord?
Yes. Okay.
You're stuck
Ready for this?
forever.
This is where I show.
You just
that
slam
all
your whatever device you're using, just throw it away. That's how you get out
I
of it.
watched
'cause
a
I don't know.
YouTube video on how to do it. So
Oh, okay, all right.
here we go.
Hey, but
Well, you
Brent,
be good, man.
oh,
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he's
I was
gone.
gonna
You got it.
when this video's over, we're gonna put an NFT stamp on it, and people can buy the original of this.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
They can buy it.
Yeah.
But I want 10% every time it's repurchased.
You,
Yeah.
we got to
Oh,
split it up.
that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Because I mean,
Look at
like you said, or like we're kind of getting at, it's really weird now because again, you don't need to be a rights holder to put something up, and then also sometimes things just get fudged and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But if you get to the point where Dean can do a cover, it's a one-off. Only the blockchain has it, and he says, "All right, every time it's resold in the market, I want 5%." And all of a sudden, people are buying this thing. They need the token to see the one of, and it's getting resold a bit, and Dean's making money out. And he's like, "Oh, great, this is fine. I'm okay with this."
It worked.
Yeah.
It actually worked. So yeah.
Also, Stephanie Brown, Amy, welcome in. Roland is excited that John made it. We are all excited that John made it.
Hi, John.
Hey, is he here?
He
Who's
is.
John?
He's just muted at the moment. I'm guessing there's some feedback
John?
issues.
John has.
Yeah, I'm here.
So
I've been here.
We are. At
Oh,
the,
there he is. What's up, John?
Yeah, I've been here. I've just
we're
been
at
like
the
quiet for
midpoint
most of the
here.
time.
We're just a little past the midpoint. I want to remind all of our viewers out there. First of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And this live stream, the Silverline live streams, are brought to you. It's sponsored by Daytona Beach Comic Convention, which is happening September 18th and 19th in Florida. So go check them out. Make sure you check out their events pages. And if you're able to make it, tell them you're going to be there. And like and follow and subscribe to all that they have going on. So thank you to the folks at Daytona Beach Comic Con. Those of you who backed our Kickstarter that ended a few weeks ago, they will be in your hands very soon. Tommy has told us that the files are being finalized and all that sort of good stuff, so they will be rolling off the presses and in the mail very soon. Thank you if you supported that Kickstarter campaign. And if you are looking for the beginnings of some of these stories, because those were numbers 2, those were Twilight Grim number 2 and Friar Rush number 2. Number 1 of each of those titles and all of our available titles so far are at silverlinecomics.com. And that will take you over to Indie Planet, where you can order 1 or 1,000 or 10,000 copies of your favorite comic books from Silverline. We have plenty, so many great titles. We would love for you to grab some of those and just dive into the Silverline world. Coming up, May 13th, we have 2 titles. That is our custom right now, to kickstart 2 titles at a time because we have so many coming out. Divinity number 2, the award-winning Divinity number 2 by R.A. Jones and Barbara Kalberg. Is it Cal or Kalberg? I'm so sorry, Barb, if I'm mispronouncing your name. Barb Kalberg and R.A. Jones wrote a great story about a young girl with superpowers, and everybody the military industrial complex wants to make use of that, and she's got to run, and she's in trouble, and it's a great story. So go grab number 1 at silverlinecomics.com and wait for number 2 coming up May 13th alongside my title, Steam Patriots. Number 1 is on the way. It is a steampunk American Revolution story, and got beautiful art, being just like I think we're about 99% done getting the final touches on some of the colors and letters by my good buddy Dan Hosick, and we got a variant cover by Dean over there, and we've got some extra goodies coming for both of the titles, Divinity and Team Patriots. So those will be out. The campaign will be started May 13th. So mark your calendars. We are talking tonight about non-fungible tokens, and it is a very confusing topic for me. It is a digital way of digitizing and tracking digital products, creations, and getting a one-of-a-kind edition of something digital, which sounds impossible to do, but smart people have applied code to digital creations. And if you want to create a one of a kind, or if you want to buy a one of a kind or get a first edition or the one and only, it is possible. And it is also possible to spend currency and earn currency through these non-fungible tokens. And yes, my brain is oozing out of my ears as I try to comprehend, but I'm starting to get a grasp on it because of the smart people I'm surrounded by.
Better you than me, because
Tim, Dean, Tommy, we're working through this together, and Tim's got a good grasp on it. He's been doing well.
I work in finance most days, so crypto is already something we talk about quite frequently, and this just kind of comes like, oh, more. We have to learn more. But
we do have to learn more.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the same thing that makes it unique is the same kind of thing that makes like the Bitcoin, the individual Bitcoins unique. So that's how you in your Bitcoin wallet, there is specific Bitcoins in your wallet that are. It's not like they say you have $55 worth of Bitcoins. There's specific numbered.
It shows like
tokens.
Percentages of each.
Right.
So when you actually look at it, you see like,
never a whole one.
Yeah, you'll see each transaction that's being completed. So if you have one Bitcoin, you essentially have something that represents that entire calculation that went into processing data.
Exactly.
So it's basically like a coin in the John Wick universe.
Yes. Whereas a coin was like for each person killed, one coin is created. This is for each transaction completed, one coin is made.
I usually give 1.5 for each kill I have, but that's kind.
Well, okay. Well, also, just because of the group we have here, I don't. First question, John, stance on ghosts.
What?
Real quick, I have a question that's on topic, but John.
Was that English?
Yes, John. What is your stance on ghosts?
I don't even know what that means, dude.
You believe in ghosts?
What's my stance? Oh, stance on ghosts. On ghosts. Sorry. I took that as like one big word. I don't.
Is he here?
I'm here. Why do you not hear me?
Oh, Scott may have bad internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a huge believer, but I wouldn't necessarily disbelieve.
Can you hear me?
I believe it's completely possible.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself open to it?
To ghosts?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Who are you talking
to? So yeah.
You should look behind you right now because I see one.
I figured just get that out of the ground, just given the way that the last time we had 4 of us on, it just kind of derailed around the last half hour. But, so given the way that market changes and things influence art, because art usually reflects life, I mean, Mars Largo as a comic was created because of weird Danish inheritance laws and stock ownership. Given the movement to more and more digital transactions, digital currencies, digital collectibles, how would that influence art? Do you guys think? This is what I'm curious about. Not to steal Scott's role as moderator, but this is just something I'm thinking about.
Scott looks drunk.
He's sort of. It's like Max headrooming a little bit. It's a little bit of the freeze frame. So. We're not going to mock you for that, Scott. We understand the limitations of your location today. So we're going to kind of mock you less than we normally would.
Just a little less. Thank you.
But just a little, going to give you a little room to play.
If the legal rights holders of Max Headroom can make an NFT and that just come full circle, there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so you were asking the.
So if we could stay with Max Headroom for a second.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
There's an episode where they had commercials called Blipferts that made people's heads explode, and every time my kid watches that damn TikTok, and that's exactly what makes me think of it. These are Blipferts. I'm like, your head's gonna go, and yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
So
just needed to share that.
Your question was about Kong, Godzilla versus Kong, right? No.
If Godzilla was an NFT.
Yes. Your question was how do you think the NFT and the cryptocurrency will affect digital artists?
Well, I think just the way like creation in general, we're always kind of influenced by the world around us, and with more, I guess, commerce happening now digitally, almost kind of strictly, even from the point of like PayPaling for whatever to the point where now you can have digital art paid for with digital currency. How do you think that influence your, or how will people be influenced by this in their creative process?
I think it depends on the person creating, obviously, but if you're asking me just specifically, I would still create the way I always have. I may distribute a little differently and market a little differently, but I would create exactly as I do, because number one, it's the most effective way for me to communicate what's in my mind is really just, scrubbing graphite on a piece of paper. But then scanning it, digitizing it, making it available digitally, and getting paid digitally doesn't faze me at all. So it's not going to change anything, because to me, it's a distribution upgrade in a way, So yeah, for me, it will not change it at all. I will have to learn more, how to distribute it more efficiently and effectively in the digital world, and how to market myself more digitally effectively in the digital world. But creation to me is like it's a very intuitive thing. And it's I have tried to draw directly on a pad, and I'm learning to paint digitally on my iPad Pro, and I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but there's something visceral and magical, and it's just very it's mysterious to me, of just a pencil on a paper, and then something appears there out of my head, and it's never constructed. I'm literally reflecting what I'm seeing in my head, right? So I might do some rough sketches to get the idea locked in, but I've never been someone who constructs. I'm literally recording what I'm seeing in my head. So it's different for everybody, and it's hard for an artist sometimes to enunciate exactly their own creative process. But just for grins, that's how I do it. It's just strange. So I'm a strange person, so it fits.
I think like just kind of what I was looking at is with how much people seem to be, I guess, cyborgs in some way. You have your phone on you, and that's your extension to a digital world.
Right.
Commerce now happens digitally. Your communication happens digitally, and all this weird stuff. I think from a writing perspective, even non-sci-fi things might have a little bit more cyberpunky intonations in some way, just because that seems to be the way. We're not quite there, but it seems to be we're on course for being like total digital integration in some way. So I think yeah. So maybe from like writing perspective, even like your traditional genre may begin to feel more, or non-genre literature may feel more cyberpunky in some way.
I think that's fair. I think you're seeing more attention to sci-fi, and this may be an odd way to observe that, but
yeah.
What are your thoughts on why the Universal monsters have never quite been as successful in their attempted relaunches as they were 30 or 40 years ago? It's because we live in a more science-based world than a mystery-based world. And so it sort of goes into what you're saying, where people love vampires and as much as they always did, obviously, but it's almost like they're more tech vampires.
Yeah.
Like the Blade approach more than the classic Dracula approach.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a joke that some guys had with like, well, how would you stop the Invisible Man? You just use your $40 IR nods that you like.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I definitely see a lot more of the cyberpunk, a lot more of the sci-fi aspect to stories and storytelling becoming more integrated. Because again, you're going to tell a story today, and if it's in a contemporary setting, how much is the cell phone going to play a role into it? If you're writing a murder mystery, a cell phone or someone who recorded the action on a cell phone, that plays an integral part, where 30 years ago, that wouldn't even be part of the story, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Anyone else? Anyone? John?
See, on my screen, John is not even here. Is he here?
He's here.
He's here?
I'm here.
How do you have two
Everybody
Tommies?
else sees me. I must be a ghost.
Is John say something?
Something.
I think you guys are messing with me.
No, if we all hold,
John is here.
Oh my god.
If we all hold hands and say John's name 3 times.
Look, John is showing up on the case.
Yeah, actually, I just took a picture and I was going to throw it in our Facebook Messenger chat.
Totally, like I'm off course here, like not quite 90 degrees, but like 87 degrees off course. You talked about art. I'm sorry. Has anyone watched the This Is a Robbery, the world's biggest art heist on Netflix yet?
What if somebody do steal
you gotta watch it. It's really, really good. It's Boston 1990. I got it here in front of me. I'm reading the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. It's a really good documentary. So I'm throwing that out there for because Tim, you talked about the value of art, and this is something I learned from the documentaries through the 80s and the 90s. Art, that was like a huge boom at auctions and investing in art and buying art, and so they stole a handful of paintings or art pieces of art from this museum in Boston in 1990, pre-cell phones. So just putting it in perspective, and valued at about $200 million then.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's a great documentary. I have one episode left to watch. It's a 4-part, so recommend it. But yeah, the perceived value in that was it. And the reason being is because what the police said is what they thought the reason was is because it could be held as kind of a ticket out of jail. You could buy it, hide it, and if you got caught doing something else, you could say, well, I know where the art is, because there are a couple instances of it. So it's just interesting because it's like it's collateral. It's got a value. You can hang on to it. I've got it over here in this room. No one's looking at it. And when I need it, it's get out of jail or trade it for something else. But it's a well done documentary, and it's a currency. Very
Once
interesting.
again, the name of it, Scott, for us?
It's called This Is a Robbery.
This
the
is a
world's
robbery.
biggest art heist, and it's on Netflix. It follows the 1990 March 18th. It was St. Patrick's Day in Boston. Well, 17th into 18th for the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, which actually makes me very interested in the museum because seeing the modern, like the current museum, like with the cameras and they're doing the documentary there. It looks like a real neat place. They got a cool collection, so I might have to make a trip over there. I'm very interested, and they haven't found the art. One of the pieces they took was a oh my gosh, I'm gonna blank on it here just a second. It was his only piece of work involving water and a ship, and I'm totally blanking on the artist. Dutch.
Van Gogh.
No, older, 1600s.
Rembrandt. Rembrandt.
Maybe. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking like a fool here. But yeah, that was the only piece that he had painted with a water scene, and so it was very significant. And it's interesting because they had no security. They had the doors locked on. They had like 2 guys that were open the night watch, like pretty much asleep and buzzing people in just because. Anyways, watch it. I recommend it. But what made me think about it, it was a currency. It had a value, and at that time they were maybe as high as they'd ever been and have been in recent history. So, very interesting.
Yeah, I think we also.
go ahead.
Let's see. Also, speaking of it, just from a heist perspective, because heists make for good stories. But if just thinking about it now, like, okay, give it 5 years, NFTs have been perfected. The system of buying and selling them, it works great. But to actually steal an NFT that isn't like strictly hacking, like in terms of art theft, like now, if I want to find like Ghost John's collector's comics, I break into John's house, I knock John off, and I raid his house and take stuff. But in NFTs in the future, if it's all NFTs, I can't just knock John off because I need his password and I need his two-factor authentication. And then not only that, I need him to sell me the NFT at a discounted rate so that I can then sell it for someone at an increased rate.
Yeah, to make a profit on it. Yeah.
Imagine how NFTs would have changed arguably the greatest heist movie ever made, Die Hard.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine them cracking the NFT out of like the big safe and
and no longer be one of the best
Isn't
Christmas movies ever.
Which is is it Die Hard 9 or Die Hard 14 that has it has the Mac computer guy. What's that actor's name?
Oh, that's Fire Sale. The one that got hacking absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Fire Sale.
Also got Harrier jump jets absolutely wrong.
Right. That's the one where he jumps the car into the helicopter, right?
Yes.
Right.
Die Hard 4. That's Die Hard 4. Arguably not the greatest of the Die Hards. I would say 1 is probably still the reigning king of those. But, yeah.
I think I've seen 1 and I've seen that one, and I don't know if I've seen.
You don't really need to see any more.
Yeah.
1 and 4 is probably good.
Talking about movies and stories that stand the test of time. Do you guys remember the Sandra Bullock movie, The Net?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The infancy of the internet, and it was. It's funny just to think it was like in the 90s, but just having that understanding of something and how the storytelling works. And you're right. Does it stand the test of time?
Yeah.
How do you tell it and keep it current, especially with technology? It's so fast. I mean, you just you watch an old episode of NCIS and they got their flip phones and their CRTs and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like the cult classic Tommy Lee Miller movie, Hackers. They use the method of phreaking, where you play a series of frequencies next to a dial phone because the phone picks that up as data input and then does something else.
Okay.
That's something you could only do in the 90s.
Right, yeah. Right. Well, and then what's that movie with The Departed? I call it the cell phone movie because everybody gets called up because their cell phone is ringing.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought I was calling. I'm calling. Are you calling?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. Speaking of that, what about Inception? I mean, try to explain Inception like in like 2 sentences to somebody, and it's like your head starts to explode.
They go into your dreams.
Yes, it's dream hacking.
It's dream hacking, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, Inception, I feel like, is if you're trying to do something timeless, that's what you do. Is you do something where technology is super vague and well, of course, it looks like the pastiche of the 40s and 80s. It's in someone's head.
We've got the technology in a briefcase.
Yep.
And we set it up. We're in a warehouse, and we plug you in, and we practice, and it's
another way to make it timeless is, and I use this comparison intentionally because we're all comic book nerds, but Tim Burton's Batman versus Chris Nolan's Batman, right? Nolan's Batman is not going to age well.
No.
But the reason that Tim Burton's will is because of the fantasy camouflage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all stylized and it could take place at any time, just about. Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite movies based off of a Philip K. Dick novel, A Scanner Darkly. Blade Runner, but yeah, Scanner Darkly. It takes place 5 years from now. At the start of the movie, it just says 5 years from now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and they have some vague camouflage in there, and it's rotoscoped, so there's no fidelity really lost at any time because it's just rotoscoping over filmed footage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, do you remember the actual date that the original Blade Runner is set in? And it'll freak you out when you think about it. The original Blade Runner, what year was it set in? Do you remember?
I can't remember. It wasn't 2020. Was it like 2012?
Close.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So we're already past like flying police cars.
Yes.
You know, it's like
Which is
wow.
Which is how we can know we're all in a simulation.
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, I always thought, Blade Runner did such a good job of projecting into the future.
Yeah.
And even that wonderful projection missed so much. So it's always dangerous for your fiction to depend too much on technology, unless of course that's the point
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
the story, like Scanner Darkly and
Yeah.
so on. But it's always good, like Scott was saying, to keep the technology sort of vague and mysterious.
Yeah.
I love Tim, we got to do your bingo idea because here comes my second Star Trek reference.
Perfect.
Like on Enterprise, which was filmed in the early 2000s at the advent of flat screens. So the Enterprise, which is in the 22nd century, right, traveling at warp 6 or something like that, they all had flat screens hanging from the wall with buttons on the side, and I love it. I mean, I know they're limited by technology. Like I always loved in Star Trek, they had incandescent bulbs and flashlights. All the flashlights had it. Like, you haven't come up with a better way to project light than
Well, that's like the thing we mentioned last time we came up was the game episode where they're playing a really bad looking Pong on something that is not as good as an Oculus Rift.
Yeah. The one thing they got right, and I'll give them this, is there's an episode where they go to a library and they're pulling silver discs that look like CDs. And you'll remember that one because I was going, wow, so instead of books, everything will be on these silver discs. And I remember when CDs came out, I thought, wow, Star Trek predicted this in the 60s. That's pretty cool. And of course, now it's like, nah, you would just do it over the cloud with like a thumb drive, or you would like jack into the back of your head like in the Matrix, or
Well, no, now they're NFTs. So
you only get one version of it. You got to pay for it. Have you guys the holodeck technology? Have you guys watched Lower Decks yet? Because they make
I need to.
They make some good holodeck references for what they have to clean up.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, great! That's great.
Lower Deck. If you love the obscure Easter egg, deep references to Star Trek, Lower Decks is hilarious. I get through the first episode because it's a little, but it's established.
It's kind of funky, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, every show you have to either give it the first episode or the first season. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Get through it. It's gonna have its gags and it'll get it. It'll find its pace. Yeah. But technology, and so the 5 years from now, you're right. We'll be talking about these digital transactions that just make sense, and buying a one of a kind.
Yeah.
Will make sense.
We might have Silverline NFTs as a stretch goal.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, just think about it now, like just crowdfunding and
well, that's the idea with Kevin Smith's thing is selling the what essentially is, instead of the tape, he's selling the chip of the movie as an NFT. And the idea is that that's going to help essentially fund the next thing he's doing. Ahead of box office returns, which can take a while to get back to an independent production.
Right.
Just to punctuate my reference to original series Star Trek, that episode where they predict CDs is called All Our Yesterdays.
Oh wow!
So for anybody who wants to go back and watch that original episode, they're
And all
pulling
the-
CDs. It's really
All
cool.
the it does make me feel good though that in Generations, the first Next Generation movie where Captain Picard, sorry, spoiler, his brother and his nephew perished. Picard's very sad. He's looking at a photo album. I thought it's very odd, but apparently paper or printed photos come back. They have a renaissance in the 24th
It's a
century.
collectible NFT thing.
Exactly. Well, that's not the thing they kind of get to, like in Picard, where they kind of like, why is everything in your like villa so outdated? He's like, oh, I like it.
Speaking of which, the trailer. Well, I know we're off course here. Sorry,
we're going deep.
But Picard is coming out in 2022. Are they like filming slow enough for Sir Patrick Stewart? I love you, Patrick Stewart, but you're 100 years old. Is that like really like 2022?
I don't know. He moves spry for man his age, but
but they must be taking their time. Because,
I think,
it's the robot. Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
It's the android.
Patrick Stewart is his own NFT.
So it's not really him.
Wait, is it a robot Patrick Stewart or a robot Jean-Luc Picard? Which are we? Or is it both?
Yes.
Isn't it the same?
Well, hey, if you look at the Mandalorian episode where Luke Skywalker shows up, it's kind of cool what they can do now with that technology. I mean, conceivably, Mark Hamill could just license out his likeness and make money forever being Luke Skywalker.
That's what I'm wondering. Did you watch the trailer, the short Picard season 2 trailer?
I have not.
I've not seen it yet.
I'm not killing any. It's very heavy on time travel, and I'm going
to go to find a whale.
Yeah. They just have to slingshot around the. I'm sorry.
Use that tachyon
computer
around the sun.
Yes.
They need to get plexiglass and a whale, and they're all set. They're
clear aluminum or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, dilithium.
Wait, what? No, he said apparently there is a Deep Space Nine reference in that trailer, and I'm iffy. My Deep Space Nine knowledge is very, very.
Well, I'm watching through Deep Space Nine right now, so I'll watch the trailer and I'll let you know when I find that point in the series.
Yes, yeah. There's a reference to that. So, I got to rewatch it. Picard is coming, and apparently there's a Discovery season 3
something. Yeah.
Trailer out there. I'm still waiting on the Captain Pike series on the Enterprise. Excited about that. And I am still 2 episodes behind on Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I apologize. I would love to discuss the
Well, they all die.
Yep.
Just to let you know.
Don't they all really, Tommy, in sometime sooner or later? And I heard there's another CBS, or sorry, not Paramount, CBS, Paramount. Yeah, Star Trek movie in the works. So I don't know what timeline, who that's going to follow.
Right.
No clue. Sorry, I really just jumped on the whole Star Trek thing there.
It's okay.
Over.
It's all right.
Yes.
We are getting towards the end here, and we have talked NFTs and we have talked cryptocurrencies. This has been Tales from the Crypto Currency tonight. Thank you. I'd like that to be the title for our show. The show. All of you out there, don't forget, this conversation will continue as well on the Sunday night show. It is Sunday 9 to 11 Eastern. That is the Silverline Sunday. They will continue. They got a whole host of talking heads to continue this conversation with their own take on it. But I'm going to say they don't have a Tim TK, so they're working at a deficit. They're starting.
He was on there a couple of weeks ago. I saw him on there.
But I've not given them a Fungible tracker yet, so I don't know if anyone's watching. Did we need to update? I count this out at 6 puns. I don't know if we had more since then.
I haven't been keeping track.
Maybe someone in chat will let us know.
I would say though, if I had to put a fungible price on tonight's episode, at least $1 million. At least so when we put it up to the fungible store, yeah, people are gonna need to crack open the wallet, to crack open the Fungi wallet.
You know what I would say, Scott? I would say it's going to be off the blockchain.
I'm counting that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So folks, get out your Funge bucks and be ready to spend them. But you know what? We provide this service for free of charge. Is the Wednesday Wham, the Sunday?
I mean,
Silverline.
you guys don't get paid.
I
get paid in Funge money.
I just get sent nacho fries.
Nice.
Tommy, you weren't supposed to tell.
I don't want to kill the conversation, but we're getting towards the end. Any parting thoughts before we say goodnight, gentlemen?
Prepare for a ghost hunt.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Silverline Ghost Hunt coming up the next time we can all get together at a convention.
Yes.
When Scott and I got to figure out how to co-write something to have Dean
John
and
doesn't know about that. He
Tommy
wasn't here
illustrate.
on that episode. Yeah, we never told John about that.
Oh,
John,
Ghost
you're
John?
invited.
That's John's fault for not listening to the old episodes.
You guys, that he's here.
Maybe next week Scott will be able to
You guys
see
are
me.
full of it. You're messing with me.
I think Scott's
Tell him to look at the Facebook.
there's
list. I took a picture
Scott, there is an image
of
posted of
it. It's like a
John in
picture
our
of a ghost.
skull.
It's legit.
I think,
Can you see the rest of us?
I can, but John's.
I don't want the nuggets.
I'm going to take a.
just like the cut of this, and John's like, I want the
it's like
nuggets.
Ghost Kid, like he's trying to feed me like
John,
food he doesn't want to
this is what
finish.
John looks like right now.
You probably can't see me.
Well, we can't see you, Ron, because you don't have your video turned on. But yeah, my
John is there.
Yes.
Yeah, John's got this crazy mosaic-looking thing, but now he's doing the devil horns with both hands.
Yeah, we're getting like a cool like fish bulb effect with or fisheye effect with John's blinds. Yeah.
Scott's like,
that's because
you guys,
the blind is messing with it. And I tried to look up how do you put like a wallpaper behind like you do in Zoom, and I can't find it.
Grab of my own screen.
But
so.
Okay, he can't work a camera, and we're supposed to like really trust his screen abilities.
John,
I don't think so.
He can say anything right now. He can't hear me.
It's all
I'm pretty sure Scott's internet is running like a solid 15 megabytes a second.
Nice beard, Scott. Let's talk more Trek, Scott.
Scott, you can't hear John? You can't hear him or see him?
No.
Oh my God, it's that cyberpunk.
You guys are totally messing with me.
Anyway, so my final thoughts, I'm going to say, just get them out there. Can you see Roland? Roland just joined.
Wow.
Nope. All right. But Discord maybe just died for me. That's interesting. Oh, no, I'm having issues. 1 second.
Good evening, and I'm losing.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
So I don't know what's happening here.
We're back. We lost the video for a second. We lost the stream. Yeah, so we're back now.
That'll be it.
And it wasn't my fault.
No, this was strictly technical issues. Yeah.
Say goodnight. My title, my book, Steam Patriots, is coming May 13th to Kickstarter. Please mark your calendars. Save your fungibles for that campaign. We'll have great extras. It is partnered with, and running alongside Divinity #2 by Barb Kalberg and R.A. Jones. And we'll have plenty of goodness and wonderfulness coming from our Kickstarter campaign. I am down to Dean and Tommy. That's all I can see on my screen. I'm in the hills of central Pennsylvania right now.
And running on the Commodore 64.
And if you're out there, Tim,
I'm back. Yeah, we're good.
For it.
Yeah.
Tommy, say goodnight.
Good night, guys. Thomas Flamonte. You can find me at infernostudios.com, on Facebook as Thomas Flormonte, Florimonte. And You saw I did a little bit of inking on the project I'm working with Dean, and a little bit of the Champion Miss Fury book, trying to jam on both of those and get them to the colorists so they can start coloring.
Dean, go for it. Can you hear me, Dean?
I'm Dean Zachary, and I'm signing off. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Comic Vine. You can find me at comicartfans.com. And you'll soon be finding my book at silverlinecomics.com. And I enjoyed this as always.
All right. I don't know if Tim's out there. You guys tell me they are.
I see him.
Yeah.
They're there. They're there.
Is he talking?
I can talk.
I see for both him and Roland a bunch of blocks moving around.
Everybody out there, thank you for joining our first Discord show.
And for Scott, it might be the last.
Really, just something special. It's certainly
This
been
was awesome.
something. We started off great.
Wait a minute. I know what we can do. Scott. Tim, you say something, and then I'll tell Scott what you say.
Sure.
All right, you said yours.
Tim TK Writer on all the socials.
Tim TK Writer on all the socials.
Tim doesn't TikTok on TikTok.
Tim doesn't
Is
TikTok
this kind of
on
like a
TikTok.
seance?
Aggro Bacon
Like
on
you're
Twitch.
channeling?
Aggro Bacon on something.
Wolf Hunter issue 1.
Wolf Hunter
and
issue 1
coming out soonish, I believe.
coming out soon. He believes.
And thoughts on
Yeah.
NFTs. People are stupid but optimistic.
And I think he said he called somebody stupid and optimistic, and I'm not sure who
It might have been Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know how to end this show, because if I could, I would. And this is something special tonight. Don't forget Sunday night, Silverline Sunday, 9 to 11 Eastern. They will be chatting about non-fungible tokens and all the fungibles they can, and blockchains and tales from the cryptocurrency.
Say something, bye, John. John's got to say goodbye too.
Yeah, John's got it. John's still here.
Hi, everyone.
John, say goodbye,
12,
everyone.
2021.
2021 something.
Sniper and
And
Rook,
don't
number
forget
12.
Daytona Beach
Sniper and Rook, number 12.
September 18
And he says,
19.
I owe Thomas $100. I don't know why he said that. But that
And
was
talking
kind of,
about nice
Daytona
beard,
Beach
Scott.
Comic Convention, thank you. May 13th.
wait till you go back and see what all he said, Scott. That's going to be funny.
Oh my god.
How do we end this? Are we still on? Are we still
Say
on?
goodbye, Scott.
Love you guys. Bye.
Ah.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, wait a minute. Make
Bye.
mine.